Welcome back to the channel, everyone, and welcome back to a new game. Now, this one is a bit of a special one for me. I grew up in the era where Voyager was on the TV, and the CG of it was just absolutely brilliant. The ship just looks absolutely gorgeous. The graphics in there, even the crew, they just gelled together very well. And then eventually I did go back and watch like the Next Generation and the DS9 in full, but this was the one that really got me back into the Star Trek. I'd watched the movies, really enjoyed the movies, but this was the first TV series I really went into. So it has a lot of nostalgia for me. It might not for everybody else. It is a fantastic series. Now, this game is about a what-if scenario. What if you made different decisions to the Captain Janeway did? Would you be able to get the crew safely home? Would you make other decisions where the crew got back home at the cost of everything? So, very intriguing one. It's done as a turn-based game, which is right up my alley. I love my turn-based games. So, let's get started. I did start to play one, but they just dropped a new update down. I think it's 1.4 patch, and they've done a lot of balance changes in there, so I wanted to start a new game. I was up to, I think, the 4th area on my first game, and I did it. Don't know if it was a bug, but I did a choice and it sort of said game over, which it shouldn't have really done. So I don't know what happened with that one. So let's start over. We'll play it on a survival setting.
So, a few days back, this Captain Janeway breezes into my cozy penal colony like she owns the place. She's stern and smells like coffee and regulations. And the kicker? She's served with my old man on the Albatani. Turns out her security chief, Tuvok, was playing spy on a Maquis ship that vanished in the Badlands. Now Janeway needs that missing ship found, and because of my past associations, I'm apparently the resident expert on the Badlands. I find the missing Maquis. She puts in a good word for me at my next parole review. Simple. Still, the view is infinitely better than a holding cell. It's not every day you get a front row seat on a brand new Intrepid-class starship's maiden voyage. The USS Voyager. Might even get to touch the helm.
Now, I do apologise about that because there was something that went wrong in the back of the DS9. Instead of having the space scene, but like I did just say, a patch dropped just this morning, so there's probably some little bugs in there. So that wasn't supposed to happen. That didn't happen on my first playthrough. Gentlemen, welcome to Voyager. Ensign Kim, you're fresh out of academy, ready for your first deep space assignment. Reporting for duty, Captain. It's an honour to be here. I hope I live up to your expectations. Ensign Kim, I trust you've already met Tom Paris, our esteemed observer, a former Maquis pilot who will help us search the Badlands for the Maquis vessel. With all due respect, ma'am, Observer is hardly a title of befitting my talents. I'm the best damn pilot in this sector. Call me pilot extraordinaire, Ensign. The Maquis? Wow. I heard a lot of stories about them. Relax, I was only with the Maquis only for a few weeks before I was captured and sent to a lovely penal colony in the New Zealand. Penal colony? Enough chatter, gentlemen. All hands, this is the captain. Report to your stations. Helm, take us into the Badlands. Maximum warp. Into the Badlands, a treacherous region of space where violent plasma storms can cripple even the most advanced starships. Captain Janeway observes the swirling chaos from the view screen, a subtle smile playing on her lips. She's ready for the challenge. Scanners are picking up no other vessels in the system, Captain. Your time to shine, Mr. Paris. Any ideas where your former colleagues might be hiding? I wasn't exactly Marquis of the Year, Captain, but they did prefer underground bases, remote planets, and... Captain, I don't mean to interrupt, but I'm reading a coherent Tetron beam scanning us, and a displacement wave heading towards us. Red alert, Helm. Evasive maneuvers. Too late. The wave will intercept us in 5 seconds. Brace for impact. As the crew regain consciousness, they find their bridge in total devastation, twisting metal, sparking consoles, and injured crewmate. Paint a grim picture. What just happened? Damage report. Major hull and deck damage. The transporters are offline and we're receiving casualty reports. Bridge to sick bay. Doctor, I've got injured crew on my bridge. Doctor. Captain, we're losing systems across multiple decks. The deuterium tanks are empty. Warp core's gone to grey mode. We're on reserves. Barely. Mr. Parris, take the helm. Scan for the nearest source of deuterium. External sensors are offline. Stellar cartography must be down. Voyager's blind, Captain. Janeway to engineering. We need stellar cartography back online now. And I'll just skip over the tutorials while we'll sort of explain it. You can sort of zoom in and out with your middle mouse button, and if you hold down your right button you can go left and right, and that works on pretty much all menus. And you can go all the way into, and as you will see, it does look like Fallout Shelter sort of style on here, but there's like different systems in the game. A part of it looks like the Fallout Shelter, part of it looks like Star Trek Timelines, a mobile game, which I did play for over a year. It was a very good game, and it's got sort of that with the away missions. It's a very good mix. We've got to activate stellar cartography by switching the power on. So it's down here. Let's turn it on. Captain, sensors are picking up something out there, but what Harry is trying to stammer is we're not in the Badlands anymore. What is that thing? Where are we? If our sensors are working correctly, we just jumped over 70,000 light years into the Delta Quadrant. The Delta Quadrant? How? Captain, life supports are failing. This array will have to wait, Mr. Parris. Take the helm and find us a deuterium source. Let's grab the deuterium. So this is your system map. We tell you about points of interest and stuff. We'll go for that when it crops up. So you can scan with your right click, and there's different resources. So we'll go over them in 1 second. Let me just scan all these first. And you can travel to all these points of interest. The story, missions, which are going to be like your gold, and then you're going to have like side quests, which are like a blue starfleet symbol. We'll get into those soon. So your ship has different resources across the top. So Borg nanites, that's going to be, if you've watched the series, you know the Borg don't come into like season 5, I think it is. So that's going to be down the line. Bioneural gel packs is what the ship runs on. You need that for a lot of sort of high tier upgrades. Dilithium as well. It's a very hard to get hold of resource, so you do want to watch what you're spending that on. Science points, as you would expect in a game like this, you've got a science tree where you can choose what you want to put your resources into. Do you want to go into attack? Do you want to go into something that's going to help out morale, help out resources on the ship? Lots of different ways to go into. Deuterium is going to be your fuel source, so that's what it's asking us to go and get now. We've also got an energy meter that's based on our warp core level. Currently we're using 15 power, but we can only use up to 60 before we've got to upgrade the warp core. We've also got batteries. Those can link with the energy, so we can run the ship on batteries without going into grey mode. And grey mode means basically everything's shut off, so you get none of your buildings working. Uranium is used for building most rooms, and titanium is also used for building. It's a more rarer ingredients needed, so it's not needed on some of the basic upgrades, but when you start going to like tier 2 stuff, then you definitely need titanium a lot. And food is something you can get You don't see much of it. I don't think you get in the first area, but in the second area, that's more of an issue. But those are what you feed your crew. If you don't feed them with food, then you have to feed them through your rations, which takes extra fuel. So it's asking us to collect some deuterium, and as you can see, the symbols at the top, they match to the symbols down here. So our nearest to 2, we've got one over there 4, one there 2, one over there 3, and one cycle. So we just go to the closest one. And then every time you come to a resource, you have this sort of menu pop up, and you have options. So you could go with a less riskier option. So if I go for this, because it's green bar all the way across, I'm guaranteed to get the 499. But if I want to use the tractor beam, again, that could be tractor beams. It could also be based on the level of your building. And there's going to be different options coming up here, but you'll see I only have a 50% green and a 50% yellow. Now, yellow means you will only get a partial reward. Once you start going into orange and red, then you can start getting into things where you could lose, say, a shuttlecraft, or people can die. And that is another resource you have to watch out, as you would expect. We're now 70,000 light years from home. We're not going to get new recruits very easily. So that is a very finite resource we have to watch out for, because you need people to run every one of your rooms. So do we want to start off with the easy route? No, let's go with a 50-50 chance. And it paid off on this time. We got 762, so that was a fabulous start. Captain, we can now deactivate grey mode. Ready to increase warp core. And like I said, I will get rid of the tutorials off there. I don't think there's a way to get rid of them. So we want to come out to grey mode. Energy levels will return to normal, Captain. Good. Now what's this thing? This array? I can't tell, Captain. But our scanners detect a marquee vessel next to it. Do you have different options? So we can scan. We can do the optional one. Let's try hailing them first. No response, Captain. So this one here, because of our sensor array, we've got an 100% chance. But that's not always going to be the case. And sometimes you can have 4 or 5 options. And depending on your technology, is depending on the chance. And you can fail stuff. And just because these characters are main Voyager characters, these are not necessarily going to survive every one of your bad decisions. But for the moment, we're in tutorial town, so it's fairly easy. Let's scan the ship for life signs, Ensign. There's nobody aboard. And there you see here, we've only got a 70% chance because our sensor array is only level 1. Now, if that level had been 2, then we would have had an higher chance. But at this part in the game, you've got no chance of having above a level array, so you've always got this 75% chance. Let's scan the array. And we failed. It seems our sensors can't penetrate it. Now, if we had have succeeded, you can get some outcomes that's beneficial to you, where you could get new crew or something else. So you always want to take the less riskier option. We'll just have to see for ourselves. I want the transporter room ready and repaired. Mr. Paris, get us to the uranium deposit. We need to repair our transporters. And we got some uranium right next to us. That's why I'll come down this way. And currently we've got nothing. We can hold a maximum of 100. So we can't do this one because we haven't got a science lab. So we've only got one option. There is a chance of gold. That means in this menu, that's like an average result. We'll get like half the amount or something. Or if we get green, we get the full amount. Try our luck. We got the full amount, so that's good. We now have the uranium we need. Engineering is standing by to repair the transporters, Captain. So let's repair them. It's going to take one cycle, and this cycle's based on how much fuel you've got and how much I'm using. Because I'm using 24, so 24 times 31 is basically going to give me the 745. And that's how it's worked out. And we can just zoom out if we want to. It's very sensitive, the zoom out. I don't know if there's an easier way to do that. I like to go in a little more than that. And as you see, there's a lot of damaged systems all the way around. We've got a lot of work on us. Okay, transporters are back online. Mr. Parris, set course for the array. It's time we get some answers. And as you'll see, it's got like the gold Starfleet symbol. That means it's your main story. And if you look at the very top up here, it will tell you how many cycles you've actually paid or how long you've been in this sector. And after a while, you do start getting negative effects if you're in the sector for too long. But that's not going to bother me. I'm just going to go and get as much resources as I can before I move on to the next areas. But at the moment, we're in tutorial town. Let's continue on. Now, we're still getting a problem with the back, and I don't know what's causing that. Ensign Kim and Mr. Parris, get ready for your first away mission. And this is the part where I said is like Star Trek timelines, if you've ever played that game. But at the moment, we've only got 2 people we can use. Eventually, later on, we'll have a choice of people we can send. And you can see, depending on what you send, we've got options down here. And we can pass them. If we pass them, we get some rewards. And if we fail them, like I said, sometimes it could cost you the life of that person. But we're in tutorial at the moment. Tells us we needed a pilot and a quick-witted, and everybody's got 1 skill assigned to him. That never changes. So let's just get started on. Captain, we seem to be in materials in the middle of a cornfield. This place, it's eerie, similar to Earth. But something's off. Any suggestions on what to do next? So we have 2 options. You will get rewards from most of these, but at the moment we've got no rewards. So I could take a 24 out of 33 chance, and I've got quite a big chance of a red. Or I could take the other one, which is about the same, 21 out of 29, and roughly about the same averages of getting a bad outcome. Also pay attention to what you're getting next. So the next one, I think that's medical. So we've got a medical symbol, a Starfleet one, and a science one next. And if we have a look at the people, science would be down to Harry, and medical is very low. I mean, Harry's got a better science. So I think on this one, I'm going to try the Tom Parris one. Let's confirm it. And we got a success. Great. Though there's no footprints, Harry and Tom notice subtle disturbances in the cornstalks, suggesting a path. Following these signs, they soon find a farm with people working the fields. An old man sits on the porch of a nearby farmhouse, strumming a banjo. And this is telling you about the fatigue system. So because I used Tom on the last one, you will see skills are less, and if I keep using him, I'm just going to get less and less. Captain, the old man seems harmless enough. He might know what's going on here. How should I approach him? So again, now you get options with the rewards. Now, the best option would have been the Tom Parris one, but we would have only had like a 21 at the best out of a 40. So we've got a 24 out of a 30, or we have a 12 out of a 22. That one's the best option we've got, with less chance of a bad outcome. So I'm going to take that one. I'm going to argue the facts. And we got a success again. Harry and Tom argue that this can't be Earth, pointing out the inconsistencies in the plants and animals, while the old man remains evasive. They sense the other humans on the farm are not real. The old man, however, seems to be the only thing that's genuine. He is confused why Harry and Tom are early, as it's not their turn yet. He invites them to stay on the farm and wait, offering them some corn cobs. And we got some science out of it, so that's good. And now this is telling you about mission critical things. So they'll have like a gold board around them. The old man isn't much help. We'll try to find the marquee ourselves. There's a large barn behind the farmhouse. The triquarter readings are off the charts. There's definitely something strange about it, especially that back wall. So again, because we used Harry last time, his skills are less than normal. The best rewards would have been the ones for the 10, but it would have been, I've got like a 50% chance. I could also get the deuterium, which is a fuel, and combine both people. But that means for the last one, I will have 2 tired people. Let's try Tom. Investigate the barn wall. If we can get this, we'll get some science out of it, which would be very good in the early game. No, we didn't pass it, but I want Harry on the last mission. I mean, actually, yeah, engineering Harry and Tom can help out with that. The barn walls seem solid. Suddenly the people in the field burst in welding farm tools. The old man appears and reveals the barn is an illusion, and the back wall dissolves to show a bluish glowing room where unconscious people, including a tattooed man and an half Klingon woman, lies on the surgical tables. And this is the one which is like a critical mission. This could be the difference between you recruiting somebody and you not recruiting them. So we have 2 rewards. Both rewards would be very useful in this early game. We could have a guaranteed chance here. Now you will see this gold bar here. This means a critical success. It means if I get that, I will get 50% on my rewards. So I could get up to 300 rewards, which would fill my tank. Now most people would normally go with Chakotay, but I'm going to try something different. I'm going to go and get... We can see the Klingon woman there. And if you watch the show, you know that's Torres. Okay, we didn't get the critical I was hoping for. But either way, our tank should be pretty much full. Harry sprints towards the half Klingon woman, hoping to rouse her. As he reaches out, the old man stops him. A look of concern on his face. Before Harry can react, a blinding white light fills the room and everything goes blank. Now, if we was to get critical successes, we get more experience, but either way, both characters leveled up, so their skills are going to be higher the next time we bring these in. We've got only 5 science out there. I was hoping a bit more. Now, Tom Paris is unavailable. Captain Janeway anxiously awaits the return of her crewmate. When Harry Kim unexpectedly materialises behind her, what happened on the array? Whoa, I'm back on Voyager. What happened over there, Mr. Kim? We lost contact with you for several hours. Hours? Well, we were just there, right, Tom? Tom? Seems like he's still on the array, I hope. Captain, we're being held by the Marquis. Starfleet? I don't know what you did to our commander, but I can still ram this wreck into your precious starship. Ramos? One of our own is also missing. It would make sense to postpone the ramming until we're all accounted for. Does that sound reasonable? We're beaming over. Despite Janeway's invitation, the arrival of the Marquis crew is fraught with tension. Both sides remain wary as they prepare to discuss their shared predicament. Don't play games, Starfleet. We're armed and ready to defend ourselves. I wouldn't have it any other way. Glad to have you back, Tuvok. Likewise, Captain. Miss Torres, I must inform you I was assigned to infiltrate the Marquis. I never liked you, Vulcan. That is unsurprising. I assure you I prefer my Marquis duties to the highest standards. Hetek. You win some, you lose some. Let's focus on bringing Mr. Paris and your commander back. His name is Chakotay, and we can't get back in there easy. They're sealed, and their communications are cut off. Lieutenant Tuvok, get down to engineering and find us a way to bypass whatever's jamming our communications. Report back as soon as you have a solution. Captain, the ship status remains critical. Repair protocols are imperative. We require resources and the engineering office to mobilise additional workforces. Prioritise life support, secure core decks and restore Deck 5 functionality first to gain access to the engineering office. Now the asking us to put Deck 5 on. So let's switch it on. Life support restored on Deck 5. Captain, engineering office is now accessible, which is over here. And of course it's a mess. we'll have to fix it to even use it. So let's repair that. It's going to take 3 cycles. Until complete, it would be logical to scan all the planets in the system and gather more deuterium and uranium. And we have already scanned everything in the system. Okay, it was... Oh, okay, I didn't realise you could actually go right the way up into your ship. Okay, that's very nice. You can't go underneath it, unfortunately. So at the moment, we're full on deuterium. We can only have 1,000 maximum at the moment. And the uranium, we could do is getting some more of that. So let's go over and head towards that. That's our nearest source. Now, every cycle, we are spending 24 deuterium. So after about another 5 or 6 turns, we probably will need to go after food. So we can get the 39, which is guaranteed. Or we could go for the riskier 60. Our maximum is 100, so I'm going to try for the riskier 60. And we only got 27, so either way, if I'd have gone the other option, I've only got 29, so it was worth the risk. We could go after more deuterium, which is over here. Let's have a look on the ship and see if there's anything else we can do with the damaged. We need more uranium for that and titanium, which we can't do yet. We have this deck on, so we could do the science lab. We haven't got the work teams until the engineering's finished here. Yeah, we're locked behind the tutorial still at the moment. And I think I do want to go over for that uranium. Engineering obviously is finished, so let's go into the ship. And that will get us going with the story. Engineering office is fully operational, Captain. We now have additional work teams to carry out 2 tasks simultaneously. Logically, we should focus on Deck 2 and the mess hall to ensure the crew's food supplies maintain their physical endurance. This requires reactivating life support in that sector. So, we've got our priority. Let's get you done. And then that took us 6 energy to turn on. Life support restored in Deck 2, Captain. Access to the mess hall is now possible. However, it sustained extensive damage. Emergency rations are currently deployed. After repairs, the crew can access replicator rations again. So we need to fix this. And every time I'm fixing one of these rooms, it is taking uranium. Until completion, we should address crew accommodations. The ruined rooms must be cleared to create rooms for residential sections. And it's telling us to clear this one. Now, we will get, as you see there, 16 uranium from collecting these. Be careful with that, because if you're cap, don't clear rooms until you've spent your resources out first. While waiting for our work teams to finish, we should collect more resources. Well, I'm already on the way there too, Vark. Okay, mess hall's finished, so let's go into there. Let's turn it on. We should switch to replicator rations. So we're going to do that because emergency rations is negative 40 on the morale. And if your morale ever becomes 0, it's game over. Your ship has an hull. If it ever becomes 0, it's game over. And there's also choices in the game. If you fail, it's also game over. But it does do an autosave at the start of every sector. And now, the update that just happened today, it does allow you to manual save as well. So let's turn over to premium rations. And you can, like I said, zoom straight in. And if you've watched the show, that does just look like in the show. Don't want to come out that far. Up to about there. So everything else, like I said, we do need titanium. And we won't have access to that anytime soon. We could now repair you. And we could also repair the shield generator. But I've currently got no teams. Because one's removing the ruined room here. And one's doing the science lab here. I think I'm okay doing the science lab before that. We have got some science points to spend. So I want to get on to the science as soon as possible. So let's go back out to the system. And we're right by this uranium, so let's see what we can get. So we could have up to 100. We haven't got a torpedo launch bay active yet. How long would it take me to get that active? Let's leave for now. So if I was to fix the torpedo, it would take 3 cycles. I'm not wasting that time. So we'll just go with the easier option on this occasion. And we got the full 46. Thank you. So our deuterium, we're not desperate for it at the moment. There's nothing else in the 6 system except for deuterium. Let's come over here, collect this. We'll have to go over to the array soon anyway. The ruined room's finished. Now as you see, we've got 76. We can have 100 maximum, and I think it was 15 we're going to get back from clearing this. So we should be on 91. Maybe we should rebuild some quarters now. They'll do wonders for the morale, Captain. Yeah, we're up to 92 actually. So we've currently only got this floor and this floor, so we can only build on them. We do have 2 ruined rooms up here. This one is always going to be left on, so having the crews in here is not a bad idea. Yeah, let's put an emergency crew in. So at the moment we've got 50 people unhoused, which is giving us a big negative. But if we can get some into 12 people into a crew quarter, then it cuts down the negative morale we're going to get. You will get a lot of morale by doing story missions and side quests and stuff like that. But that's going to take 6 cycles to build, and the other team will be done in 1 more cycle. Now we can hear that buzzing. That means the Starfleet symbol at the bottom. That's for the story mission. Captain, the array's jamming signal has been neutralised. We should be able to establish communications. Let's hope they respond. Hail the array. Huh? Who is this? Why are you bothering me? Oh, it's you. Why are you back? You don't have what I need. I remember that voice, Captain. It's the old man with the banjo. But his form is entirely different compared to how he appeared on the array. I'm Captain Janeway of the Federation Starship Voyager. We mean you no harm. We just want our people back. Your people? Your people are no longer here. I might have what I need. You'll just have to wait and leave them. So now we get a lot more options. So we could use Catherine Janeway because she's level 1. There's 2 options. Because we've got B'Elanna, there's also another option. All these are 70% chance. Gonna do the optional scan, the array for Tom and Chakotay. I won't rely on the words of the stranger. Scan the array for signs of Tom and Chakotay. No signs of the Captain. And no humanoid life forms indicated at all. Who or what are we talking to right now? So yeah, we've got the 70% chance. You're engineering. We could try and intimidate him, but somebody who can move us 70,000 light years across a galaxy is probably somebody we don't really want to be trying to intimidate. We could appeal to the humanity. Or we could let B'Elanna talk. We'll let B'Elanna talk. No, listen here, you oversized jello. Return Chakotay. Well, I'll use that banjo in a way the Klingon could. Got it? The struggle for survival. Okay, we did succeed. The struggle for survival. It is a heavy burden. But I have no time for this. There just isn't enough time. Time for what? To ensure their survival. Whose survival? I hope you're not talking about Chakotay and the pilot. Your people. No, your people may just hold the key for survival. And I must hurry. No, you're stealing my time. Don't you understand? I have no time. Not enough time. We've been cut off, Captain. This is getting us nowhere. We need to find our people fast. You managed to extract valuable information, Miss Torres. I commend you for that. Captain, if I may. I have observed what the array have been sending energy pulses towards the 5th planet in the neighbouring system ever since I arrived. Given the lack of information regarding our mission's crew location, investigating this planet appears to be the most logical next step. It's the only lead we have. Thoughts, Mr. Torres? I don't like this any more than you do, but it'll be easier if we work together, Captain. Elm, set course for the 5th planet of the neighbouring system. Let's find our people. Set a course for the... Okay, so we've done that. Get rid of you. We'll go and pick up the fuel first. So science laboratory has been fixed, which is great because now we can start researching. Let's open up the tech tree. So you get it split into 5 categories. So the Borg we won't have access to we haven't encountered the Borg until we do. That's probably going to be like the 5th area or something like that. 5th or 6th area easily. So we've got a combat tree. We currently only can do tier 1. So we can currently do all reinforcements or captain acknowledgement. Just basically morale after we beat an enemy fight. Or we can increase the hull. We've got science options. So we could go with field training, which is going to be more experience for way missions, so they'll level up faster. We could do hydroponics, so we can get our own food in. We can't... Actually, we can go up to tier 2 because we've got some dilithium if we wanted. Biolaboratories are very important. And the sooner you get them on, the sooner you can repair the rest of the ship. We could do the resource analyzer so we can see the amount of resources. Again, I am looking for the next tier. We could go up to transporters so we get more rewards in away missions. That could be very nice. We got a nice amount of rewards off the last one, especially science. 20% more science from a mission, I'll gladly take. Or we could navigate. We don't need that at the moment. Reduce the hull damage while flying in spatial phenomenon. So that's like nebulas and stuff like that. That comes later. And under crew, let's have a look what's in here. These are mainly going to be stuff to help out your morale. So if you're struggling with morale, put your points in the crew. Now, it is best not to ignore your tier 1 stuff. I think this is the best one. Because we've got a lot of ruined rooms we've got to clear. And getting 25% more resources from them. I think that's a great first step. And it's going to take 14 turns. So that's where I'm going to go. But yeah, in your engineering, you've got your small batteries. You can upgrade your workshop levels. Reduce the amount of time it takes to clear buildings. This is a big one. Deconstructing buildings now returns all your resources. Especially if you want to reorganize your ship when you get access to more floors. Being able to get all the resources back is big. Cargo level bays is just allowing you to get more cargo areas. And the large ones are just even more. But they take up a lot of space, they do. I think it's 12 squares they take up. We could get a second shuttle in the shuttle bay. And we can also reduce the construction time. Which we will want at some point because we will lose our shuttles. Now, the patch that did just drop this morning is supposed to have fixed the issue. Because there was an higher chance for your shuttle to be destroyed if you use that as your option than it was supposed to have. So they should have fixed that today. And trade offers is something we'll get into later. But no, I'm happy with that research. And you can see your research time remaining if you just click on your laboratory. So I don't think there's anything else. We have got a crew, so we need to be doing something with that crew. We don't want them just sitting around doing nothing. And I can't do any of these because I've got no titanium. We turning on phasers. Seems like a logical, so I think I want to go phasers, shields, then torpedoes. Let's come back out to the sector. So we need about 305 to be full. That's going to give us 500. We could pass a couple of turns if we really wanted to. But we're not guaranteed to get the full amount anyway. So yeah, we'll take the less risky option. And we did get the full amount. So because it's 288, we could have actually, because we're using 40 per turn, We could have stayed here maybe another 6 turns just doing some research if we wanted to. But like I said, there is a timer for the amount of time you can really be into a zone. But it's telling us to go clear the ruined rooms, which we did, and build an emergency quarters. We'll do that soon. And 5th planet of the next sector. So you can just go into here and you can see where it is. So they want us to go here. We want to go straight there. But yeah, there's definitely something going on with some of the background stuff, and I don't know what's causing it. This wasn't happening in my first time I played this. So, phaser control room has been done. So we always want to go in the ship, activate it, and then set something else up. You always want your crews to be doing something. So 3 cycles to build the quarters, and in 2 cycles we get our shield generators. Then we'll get down to the torpedo. Okay, there's the shield generator. Turn it on, and let's go and repair this. That's going to take 3 cycles, but in 1 cycle we'll have our quarters done. Which is there. So now you'll see we're only -21, not the -30, because we've got some emergency quarters. Now, if you go over a ruined room, I don't want to clear too many ruined rooms at the moment, because we're researching this for 9 turns. Now, what you can actually get people to do is start doing a ruined room and then cancel it. Or pause it 1 turn before the end. So we're going to get 24. Where if I wait for that extra... What was it? 20% on the plasma torch? Yeah, extra 25%. I'll get a lot more resources. So if I cancel that and then do it again. So instead of 24, 25% on that is an extra 6. I'd be getting 30 from every cleared room. But it's going to take 6 cycles. We'll go a couple of cycles until this is done. Then I'll probably get him doing something else. Get you to start clearing that one. And then I'll switch you over in 2 turns to this one. Just trying to max the amount of resources. So, torpedo bay's been done. Might just waste the resources if I need to, but I'm going to get the second team to start clearing that. How much is on the science lab? It's 6 turns. Yeah, we'll start it. Okay, first room's been done. Doesn't matter about min-maxing everything. Now, the problem with the engineering office, because of this being a 3, I could put a battery in there and an emergency quarter. Yeah, I might end up doing that. Keep spending my resources so it doesn't get wasted. Want to go into crew. Yeah, get another emergency quarter. It'll knock down some of this morale loss. I'm just going to pause that until this is done, which is 3 turns. In the meantime, you can start clearing this side. Let's go back to the system. So again, we're in a new system, so first thing I want to be doing is scan, see what's about us, but we will be doing this mission first. It's always a good idea to push your story missions, because a lot of them have these timers on them that you need to wait a certain amount of time to do stuff, and then while you're doing that you can go and collect the resources then. So there is one down here for science, which I will want to go and collect at some point, but let's do this one for the Acompa. Let's see what we have here. Following the erased energy pulses, we've basically gone to the 5th planet where it told us to go. What makes this place so special? I do apologise, the amount of reading in this game, it's destroying my voice today. So we're going 100% to do the central array, so I'm going to do that. Anything noteworthy about the energy pulses? They are consistently targeting a single location. A barren piece of the desert. I recommend an away team investigate the area. There is something else. intervals between each pulse have decreased by 0.47 seconds since we left the array. They're getting faster. The entity said he was running out of time, right? Whatever that means. We better hurry. And we want to do a general scan on the planet. Let's see what we can learn about the planet. It has all the basic characteristics of an M-class planet, but no oceans, no rivers, nothing. However, there are settlements. And then we can analyse the atmosphere. We've got a 75% chance of success, so we'll take it. And we failed. The array's energy pulses are interfering with the atmosphere scans. Captain, I cannot perform a clear analysis. So let's prepare our first away team. We'll examine this world firsthand. And we've got a ship approaching us. If you've watched the episode, this is all based on the Caretaker episode, which was the first two-parter to start off the Star Trek Voyager. If you haven't seen them, definitely a great series to go and watch even now. I haven't watched it for about 20 years, but I still remember a lot of the episodes fondly. So there's a lot of things that's going to come up in this game I'm going to have some knowledge about, but again, been 20 years since I've watched it. I'm not going to remember everything about everything. Captain, a small ship is approaching. They're hailing us. On screen. Peculiar alien with a mischievous grin greets Voyager from his chaotic vessel. Neither Starfleet nor the Marquis have ever seen such a species, perhaps inhabitants of the Delta Quadrant. Greetings. Looking for something on this dusky rock? Would we find anything, Mr. Neelix? Oh, well, she doesn't know his name yet. Would we find anything, Mr. Neelix? Never seen a ship like yours. Let me guess. You were whisked away from somewhere else in the galaxy and brought here against your will. Sounds as though you've heard the story before. Thousands of times. Well, hundreds of times. Maybe 50. But the Caretaker has been bringing ships here for months. The Caretaker? That's what the Accompany call him. He's probably snatched some of your crew too, right? They're likely down on the planet with the Accompany. But Captain, it's a tricky place, dangerous. You could also use a guide, but of course a guide needs a little, compensation. It sounds fair. Wonderful. To be honest, I've had it rough recently. Those pesky void voles have been nibbling away at my supplies. Some food and water would be most welcome. If you help us find our missing crew, you can have all the food and water you want. Well, that's very nice of you, Janeway, considering everybody in the ship is on emergency rations at the moment because we've got no food and water. It's a deal. And now Neelix has been recruited. Okay, so where do we need? We need about 400 deuterium and we're out of... No, we've got about 70 more geranium we could have. Well, we've got some deuterium right next to us. How's the ship doing? I think, yeah, we'll go over and get some fuel. And like I say, we only need about 492 to max our tanks. So there's no reason to go for the risky option. We'll go for the easy one, which is guaranteed. And our tanks are nearly full. Using 41 per cycle. So we've got, what, 20... Well, it says there 22 turns before we run out. And there's a few more fuel sources. We definitely want to get the geranium over there. And we definitely want to get that science. Let's head towards the science. Until something happens. Okay, plasma torch has been done. I think... where do I want to go next? I know where I want to go. But it's not necessarily the best options. More alls could be good. I think I want to go where we're going to get more stuff like the field training. Going to take 14 turns. It's only 40 science. I am tempted to go up to tier 2, but no, I want to get some of these tier 1 stuff done first. And we're being nailed, so let's go and answer that. What a delicious meal. Culinary masterpiece. I've never encountered such a tangy but comforting, smooth yet vibrant concoction. What was that called again? Tomato soup. Tomato soup. I'm something of a culinary wizard myself, you know. My Alfarian air pasta bowl is widely known for its bold, mouth-watering taste. Mr. Neelix, I'm pleased you're enjoying yourself, but we need your assistance now. Ah yes, your missing crew right. Scan the southern continent. You'll look for a range of dead volcanoes. At the foot of the mountains you'll find the Kazon Ogla encampment. Kazon what? One Kazon sect of many. They control this part of the quadrant. They're a bit difficult, but with the right approach even they can be reasoned with. I thought you said the Akampa had our people. Well, the Akampa do have your people, it's just finding them is a bit tricky. My old pal Maj Jabin, the ugly leader, might know where to look. He's a nice guy, a bit gruff, but he owes me a favour. Let's ask for a bit more information. Anything else we should know about the Kazon Ogla? Water is a precious commodity around these parts. The Ogla, they mostly get there through trade, so a little liquid diplomacy can go a long way. And let's send the away team down. It's a shame we haven't got that rewards for the away team first. We could have got more out, but there's going to be plenty of away missions we can do throughout. Very well, prepare an away team. You accompany them, Mr. Neelix. Why has it sent me into here if we're supposed to be going onto there? Maybe it's a time thing again. So we have got the plasma one, so we'll get some resources from here. We should be getting, I think, maybe 30 from there. Where's the other team over here? Ah, we have to go back to this sector. So we was at the science one, so let's collect the science while I'm here. So we can go for risky 40, or we can guarantee, or again, there's a chance of failing. I'm going to go with the 40, but that orange means you can have very bad outcomes if you land in there. Okay, we got 20. Could have been worse. At the moment, we're only getting 1 per cycle. That's 20 cycles worth, so we can't grumble. Do you want to pick up some geranium while I'm right next to it? Possibly, yeah. Let's go and pick up this and then go back over to the story. And we got our ruined room, so that's going to get us some resources. Let's get you to start clearing this one as well. 2 cycles on the emergency quarters being built as well. Let's see how much we get from here. So we can either go for a risky 67, which we don't need. So we'll take the 46 or as much as we can get. Yeah, we got the 46. So we only can get 11 before we're out of space for it. So let's go back over 2 cycles to get back to a compa. Didn't need to pick up fuel then, that's why I didn't pick it up even though I was right next to it. Yeah, emergency quarters have been finished. So we're negative 21 at the moment. It's now down to negative 12, so it's getting a lot better. We could just put an emergency quarters up here. Now, what I would advise, or what I'm going to do myself, is you want to plan your rooms in a situation where if you need power, you can turn off certain floors. Now, these 3 eventually become really hard to turn off because you have the holo deck spread between those 3. But floors like this one here, you can turn off. The top one, you don't really want to turn off ever because of the mess hall. So I think I want to get 2 emergency quarters up the top here. And then we could probably get like an hydroponics there. Because this floor is always going to be on. Yeah, we'll do that. Spend up some resources before we get the geranium back from clearing. Still got 64, so that's great. We'll get a little bit off there. And I think we get about 30 off there as well. So I might not want to finish doing that one yet. I think it's only 1 to go back to the other. Maybe we'll finish off this one first. Let's pause this. Ah, I accidentally cancelled it, so it's gone back to the 6 cycles. But yeah, I think that one's going to get me 30, so I'll switch over. So yeah, I didn't mean to cancel that. Send the away team. So it's told us Neelix need to be in. Now it's telling you want a Talaxian, a survivalist, and an innovator. Now Talaxian is going to be Neelix, but he's guaranteed to be in here. The innovator is going to be B'Elanna, and the survivalist, I can tell you now, is Chakotay. So if you would have had Chakotay, they would have been able to do this option, and B'Elanna's the only one that could have done this favoured trade. So we'll take B'Elanna on there. So we want to have a look at what we're covering. So at the moment we're covering engineering on the second mission and the fourth. Neelix is covering diplomacy. We need somebody with a phaser. That's going to be Tuvok. He's also not bad at science. He could help out Torres on the science check if the rewards are good. And he needs to go because I need somebody with lasers. Yeah, let's start the mission. The away team materialises in a small valley between the dead volcanoes. The sun burns down on them mercilessly, the air is hot and dry, and the sandy wind whips into their eyes. Captain, our tricorders are malfunctioning, probably the energy impulses. How do we get our bearings in this dust bowl? Now, if you would have had Chakotay, you would have had the option to do the top one. But the only option we have is this one, with a chance at a red outcome. But we've got no other option, so we'll use Tuvok. That's why we brought him with the phaser. And we want him to be available here for this mission if we can't do a diplomacy one. So yeah, we'll take up Tuvok. And we failed. The away team finds it difficult to make progress in the harsh conditions. Wind and sand slow them down, and the uneven terrain often causes them to stumble. Eventually they reach a ledge, exhausted and disorientated. In the distance they spot the Kazon Ugla settlement. However, the wind picks up and a massive sandstorm is approaching from the south. Captain, a sandstorm is heading our way. We'll need to find cover fast. So again, because you got B'Elanna, you can go and get 25 of the duranium. We could go for the science reward. Now we are going to get some duranium from clearing the rooms. To me, the science is more, but it would mean I would fatigue out. But it would mean also I've got the diplomacy option with Neelix on here. Yeah, we'll use that. Always pay attention to what's coming next, so you can always do your checks. Tuvok was already fatigued, but as you see, because we got 35 out of 30, we're guaranteed to pass with a chance of a critical where we could get 15 science. And we got the critical. Fantastic. The away team quickly analyses the terrain, discovers a natural crevice, offering the best protection of the storm. The rock walls shield them from the worst of the wind and sand. After what seems like an eternity, the storm subsides. The away team emerges unarmed and sets off in the direction of the Kazon Ugla settlement. Captain, we reach the settlement. How shall we approach these people? So we could let Neelix do the introductions. That would mean he's not going to be available for the next diplomacy one. But it's the only one we've got a chance. That's guaranteed to succeed. That's a 75% chance to succeed. And I don't get as much reward. So yeah, we'll go with a big reward. And hopefully both these will then come out of fatigue for the next one. So let Neelix introduce us. Okay, just a success. I wasn't expecting a critical on there. Neelix bounds forward, greeting the Kazon Ugla in his usual boisterous manner. The woman and children seem to recognise him, but their expressions are sceptical rather than welcoming. The men approach cautiously, weapons in hand. A tall Kazon emerges from the settlement, jabbing their leader. At the sight of Neelix, his face darkens. In the background, a badly bruised young woman, who looks nothing like the Kazon, but more like a human with pointy ears, peers around the corner. Seems like the Kazon didn't find Neelix as charming as he led us to believe. How should we appease them, Captain? So we've got Neelix currently fatigued. I don't really want to be taking the second option. We could go for the third option, get some geranium, but we are about to get some of that. This would be the best reward, but I've got a real high chance of failure. I think I want to keep Tuvok for the last one, because he can do both the Starfleet and shoot if we need to. So yeah, I think I'm going to go for the uranium. High chance of a critical as well, which means our characters will get more experience. Yeah, we got the critical. The away team offers Jabin water from the replicators. Fascinated by this technology, Jabin accepts the offer and becomes more receptive. He explains that the Okampa live underground, their access controlled by the Caretaker, who also provides their only source of water. As proof, Jabin points to the bruised woman he's holding as a slave, an Okampa. He explains that she is one of the few that managed to reach the surface. Suddenly, Neelix grabs a phaser, he points it at Jabin, and demands the Okampa woman be freed. And this is just telling you about the risks. So you have got a risk system. The higher the risk, the more skill points you will need. Things are getting out of hand, Captain. We should retreat. So we've got options. I would like to get that reward down there if I can for the deuterium for the ship. But we don't have a 100% chance to pass that. We don't have an 100% chance to pass anything. But that's the best one for me. So let's secure a retreat with phaser fire. And we got a success, that's great. The away team lays down the covering fire, forcing the Kazan to take cover. This allows them to minimise their exposure to enemy fire. Jabin, though furious, seems to acknowledge the away team's fighting skill. They escape with no casualties. And because we got 2 criticals, we got 150 extra points, and now all these are level 2. More than gratitude. Safely back on Voyager, Neelix surprises the rest of the crew as he and the rescued woman kiss passionately. How deep does their relationship go between the two? My dearest Kes, didn't I promise I'd save you? I knew you would come for me, my love. You lied and endangered my crew. This is not how to build trust, Mr. Neelix. He was desperate, Captain, but I understand. I want to repay you and your crew for saving me. As Jabin said, the access to the underground city is controlled by the Caretaker. There is a tunnel, but the Caretaker sealed it with a security barrier. We may be able to transport through the barrier if it has the slightest breach. A transporter signal amplifier would be necessary. Excellent idea, Kes. Can you help us once we've located the breach? Of course, Captain. It's the least I can do. I'm grateful now. So we have some optional things we can ask. Let's ask Cass what she knows about the Caretaker. For generations, he has provided the Okampa with food and water and energy and protection from the outside world. Any ideas why he does it and where he comes from? No. We only have stories and legends about him. They're just stories and legends. Ask why Kes come to the surface. I felt a strong pull to explore the world beyond the city. I yearned for freedom, to discover new things and learn for myself. See my people so dependent on the Caretaker, unable to even think for themselves, it was unbearable. We once possessed telepathic abilities, but those atrophied over many generations. And let's ask how they met. Kes, Mr. Neelix, I'm sure. How did you two meet? I met Kes while trading with the Kazan Ogla. They enslaved her, but she was kind, even to someone like me. I had to get her out. He visited, brought me gifts, made me laugh. He was the only good thing in that terrible place. We fell in love. I admit I used you, Captain. I apologise, but I'd do it again in an heartbeat. Let's move on to the next one. Alright, someone get started on the transporter signal amplifier, and Kes, we'll go to sickbay and have you examined. And I think that is a great stopping off point to finish the first episode. Don't want to keep these videos too long, but each sector will take somewhere between 2 and 4 hours really to complete, depending on how much resource farming you need to do in the area. And I think around the hour is a great sort of length for YouTube these days. So we have just managed to get hold of Kess. She's going to help us get into the Acompan village. And we've also got hold of Neelix. Neither one of those are full members of the crew yet, but they are going to help us out on the next couple of missions. And we just need to research some technology at the start of the next episode, which Janeway has asked us to do. If you have enjoyed this one, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. On the first episode of a new series is always when you get the big push on YouTube. All those comments and likes do help. I'll be seeing you all in the next episode. Thank you very much, everybody, for watching.